welcome to episode 30. Today we're going to be discussing everything EPCOT International Flower and Garden. Here we go. Hi, welcome to the continuing adventures of Two Gray Mice. I'm Meg.
And I'm Rob.
And we are Two Gray Mice. Hey, Rob.
Hi, Meg. I thought it was episode
How we
29.
doing?
Doing fine.
I lied. Cool beans.
I wish it were warmer.
I just told you I had the wrong we're going to talk
number.
about all things spring today. Maybe 29 was the one I recorded by myself last week. Me too. But I did this. I'm getting tired before I did that outline.
Yeah, I'm ready for spring. Hence the 29, not
Hence
the
30.
30.
Not the 30.
Thinking of spring makes us think of the
I
flower
don't
and
know.
garden show at
Start
EPCOT.
until I make this correction.
I have a blue pen. This year it's going to run from March 4th
not
to
the same
June
as a red
1st.
pencil.
I used a blue pen on mine. It is
I have
many
a
ways
red
the
Sharpie you
prettiest
can get
festival
really-
they have
That's gonna
because the
bleed.
entire park kind of puts on its
Red pencil.
fancy clothes. I don't have
All
a
right,
red
come on.
pencil. I believe it
my
is the
butt's already
second most
falling
popular
asleep.
festival
I'm
that
my
Epcot
problem
has.
that you're butt sensitive.
But where does it fall on your list of festivals?
Oh, by far it's my fave.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you dial out the holidays.
Yeah.
Or like Halloween when we were down there. Yeah, it's my favorite festival.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's my favorite festival.
Cool. Why is it your favorite festival?
Well, it's just everywhere you go, there's just incredible displays. Usually the flowers are tied to the individual countries. The displays are specific to those countries. And not even so much topiaries. Like I remember the one year we were there, Japan had the water garden, which was absolutely fascinating. If you've never seen a Japanese water garden, imagine bamboo rods on pivots that slowly fill with water. And then the bamboo rod spins and lands. And when it lands, it usually makes a noise, or it strikes a cymbal, or it trips something else that makes a noise, a jingle of rocks. And it does it at alternate intervals because these little pieces of bamboo are filling up with water at different intervals. It's just so cool. It's so cool.
It reminds me of, to kind of put it and people can see it, those games when you drop a marble and the marble hits the stick and then the stick hits this and that and the whole thing, like Mousetrap, the old game Mousetrap, where everything kind of goes. And that's very much what it is, but it's very gentle, very zen, and
really, really cool.
just really cool.
Yeah,
Very beautiful.
I
Very beautiful.
stood in front of it once for 10 minutes listening to it. It was
Oh,
just
yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, if you ever are having a tough time when you're at Epcot with the crowds or anything else, it's a great place to just breathe.
Yeah, but so when we go to Epcot for Flower and Garden, we're not going there for the rides. I think the last time we were at Epcot during Flower and Garden, we just spent that entire day wandering around, looking at the topiaries, looking at all the displays, and just soaking it all in. The park is sort of like transformed.
Oh, completely. I think, the last time we went was for my birthday, and the only ride we did was Guardians, because I can't imagine I didn't do it. And, I mean, it's a festival that's really about the atmosphere, about slowing down, about enjoying the food and beverage, and experiences more than go ride.
And, that was another thing that we were reflecting on when we were talking earlier in the week about Flower and Garden. I think the first time we were down there, we were taken by surprise. We didn't really know all that much about it, but we were going to Epcot that day. And I remember coming out, heading towards the World Showcase. There was that giant praying mantis.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it wasn't a topiary. It was almost like a plant sculpture.
Yeah. I mean, it was a
If you will.
topiary, but
But
not
it was incredible.
but not a character topiary.
Right. That was the insect year.
Yes.
Because that wasn't the only insect we saw. There were
No.
a bunch.
There was
were
a
bunch
huge
out.
butterfly.
Yeah. So, as I said, it kind of took us by surprise, really grew on us. Any chance we get to go down there during Flower and Garden, we're going to take it. because like I said, the park is transformed. And if you're not a big Disney fan, this is the perfect festival for you because it's not really Disney heavy in the sense that, some of the topiaries are Disney themed, but when you go into the individual lands, so much of what you're seeing is just the flowers native to that land done in ways that are very interesting and quite beautiful.
Oh, yeah. And there's little, signposts everywhere that tells you what things are and how old the bonsai trees are. I mean, the bonsai trees are hundreds of years old to 50 years old to, they're all out for display. I mean, all the topiaries now, when we first went, which was 01, it was, the topiaries weren't all Disney characters. We had, that year it was insects. I remember the butterfly, I remember the praying mantis. Now the topiaries are all Disney characters, which are still very, very cool.
Well, I'm waiting to see Moana now that they've opened that new area and how they're going to tie all of that together, because the Moana area is very, very natural, very, very plant heavy, very beautiful. I don't know how they're going to top that, but I know they're going to try.
I don't know if they touch it or not, because it's not mentioned anywhere in.
Oh, they got to do something to it.
They don't have to do anything with anything. They could just leave it be. But yeah, they don't mention it, but should be interesting. So just to give you a basic overrun. So obviously from our discussion, it's a flower and garden festival. There are character topiaries placed intentionally all around World Showcase and Future World and World Discovery, I guess as they call it now, right?
Yep.
There are themed gardens. There's a butterfly garden and a few other gardens throughout that are specific to the area they are or specific to the country they are in.
And one thing that they've really upped their game on over the past 5 years or so is the outdoor kitchens, because they have an awful lot of specialty food and specialty beverage offerings during the festival. And I don't remember it being that pronounced the first time we were down there.
No, it was not.
But it's a welcome addition. And they still haven't released all the noshas
and
nibbles for 26. We think that's happening this coming week. But looking over the offerings from last year, it would have been another one of those situations where I don't know where to go first.
Right. And what my last time actually at Flower and Garden was 2 years ago. I don't know, when me and Kate went down together. And what Kate and I, our daughter is a vegetarian. It is very heavy plant-based foods, but not as much, the impossible meats and all that stuff, but plant-based in the sense that you don't even realize you're kind of eating plant-based. It just is. Because the whole point is flower and garden. So what can you grow and then eat? So that's why also bees are a heavy theme, because you need bees.
And another thing that they've done and really upped their game again over the past 5 years is the music offerings. There are so many concerts scheduled for that period of time, and the lineup of acts, you could have your choice of some fantastic stuff. Billy Ocean's there one night. Herman's Hermits featuring Peter Noon. Oh my God. A Flock of Seagulls. I noticed that. I was like, holy cow.
Yeah. Well, former members of ELO, the Commodores. Yep.
And Rick Springfield.
Well, Rick Springfield always comes.
And Berlin.
Always, yeah. Well, Rick Springfield, every Gen Xer in the world is very excited when he shows up. Sorry. We get very excited by simple things.
Yeah. And, most of the concerts are in the evening. And, we encourage people to really go and look at all these beautiful flowers during the daytime. But they've also done a fantastic job the past couple of years of lighting in the evening.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes the displays are even more striking when they're artfully lit than they are during the day. It's really kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And all
beautiful.
the interactive stuff that they have now for the kids. And like you were saying, the butterfly house. And now that they've finished redoing the park in that whole Communicore area, I'm very anxious to see what they do through there, because that's a big, huge outdoor gathering space with lots of greenery. I think it's going to be kind of exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, the big thing everybody always talks about when they talk about flower and garden are the topiaries.
Yep.
There are topiaries all over the place.
Don't have the exact count for this year, but it's going to be somewheres north of 60 topiaries.
I don't know. I didn't count them. But at the entrance, there's always a big display of topiaries at the entrance. This year's going to be Buzz, Woody, Bo Peep, her sheep, Lotso, and the Pixar ball. Then you get some of your more traditional ones, and the ones through World Showcase are very country orientated. So in front of the UK, you have Winnie the Pooh and company. In Germany, you're going to have Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Tinkerbell is usually over in the UK as well. Lady and the Tramp are in Italy, and I can only think that they're in Italy because they like spaghetti.
Yeah, the spaghetti scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't really understand that. But, you know, they're all over. So you have Goofy also over by the Imagination Pavilion. So they're not just in one spot.
No, they're going to be scattered. They're going to be scattered throughout.
And they're different sizes. So, like, some of them are small and, you know, kind of tiny. And then some of them, like, Tiana in the Americas is a human height. She is how high or tall Princess Tiana would be. And all these topiaries are made of an armature of some sort.
Yeah, there's a wire
wire
frame,
base of some sort.
But most of the stuff that's on these topiaries is living.
Yeah, and then they create these beautiful statues basically out of plants.
And it's beautiful.
And finding the right plant to be the beast's beard is what I was trying to say.
Oh, and then what did I liken it to last night? That was it. It's like a stationary version of the Rose Bowl parade.
Right. Yeah.
It's just fascinating to look at some of these topiaries and see how they're the flowers that are put together to make them, and the other greenery, the other plants. It's really, really cool.
Right. You know the colors are off. Obviously, everything's a shade of green, but they're just beautifully done.
Yeah.
I mean, Stitch is new this year, or a new version of him this year, and he looks great.
Yeah.
And you could see that his teeth are all sticks, but it's fabulous.
And it's not just the topiaries either. The plantings around the park.
Yeah.
They go crazy with those. There's going to be flowers everywhere you go, just seas of color. And as we said, it's a great festival if you're looking for an easygoing, eye-watering kind of experience.
Now I'm trying to remember, what are the birds?
The birds?
Starlings? The birdhouses that are out for the flower garden?
No, those are...
They're the ones that live in the big communities. They look like gourds on their side. They're birdhouses.
Yeah, martins.
They're martins. They're so they're all up, and they're on pulleys so they can put them up and down throughout the year when the martins, because it's a breeding spot and a stopping spot in their migration pattern.
Yep.
So it's very cool. So it's just wonderful to walk through, and like Rob said, all the different colors. The light package is amazing that you see at night in the evening, along with, but that whole center section too is going to be gorgeous.
But one of the underrated aspects of the Flower and Garden Show are the actual gardens themselves. And when you go from country to country, what they've done within their gardens is usually over and above what you see normally throughout the year in the park.
Right.
Artfully done, beautiful, and lots of hands-on stuff.
Yeah.
For the kids.
So,
and I guess for the adults too.
Yeah. So, like one of the gardens they have in England, they actually Twinings puts in a tea garden, and it's a garden of things that you actually make tea with and blend tea with. So there's some tea plants in there, but there's also like chamomile and the flowers that, for your herbal teas. And it's all right outside the Twinings tea shop.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful.
Smells great too.
Yeah. Over by Creation Shop, there's a new playground. And they're going to have that area be Camp Get Out and Play. Of course, it's sponsored by Off. And it's a camp-themed garden in between World Celebration and the Creation Shops by the Odyssey, so the kids can play and get their steam out, but it's also, they're adding plants to it. They're adding, it's kind of like a summer camp theme to it. Hence Off. But just really, beautiful.
The one thing I did notice that they're doing this year, which I thought is absolutely fantastic. When we were down there during the holidays, we went on the Olaf scavenger hunt while we were at EPCOT.
Yes.
And that was incredibly enjoyable. Lovely little treat at the end. But they're doing something very similar to that with Spike's Pollen-Nation Exploration. So you can get your little passport and go on your Spike the Bee scavenger hunt. And looking at these things, like the Olafs were big.
Right. They look like they were like 12 inches tall.
Yeah.
He looks like he's 6 inches.
Yeah, this bee, I wouldn't even give him 6 inches. I'd say he's like 2 inches tall. And he's very, very colorful.
He's in the garden.
Yeah. But I can see wandering into some of these countries and just being befuddled as to where the little bugger is.
Well, then we can have remember in Canada, we had the joint hunt?
Yes.
It was like 4 different couples, families that were all looking for Olaf together. We're like, you go this way, you go that way. First person to find him, wave.
Yeah. Over here.
There is a great vegetable garden over by Guardians that you can look at, carrots, beautiful vegetables. You don't realize how beautiful a vegetable plant can be. Butterfly landing, especially for the kids.
Yeah.
It's a huge netted building, and you go in, and it's just filled with gorgeous flowers and butterflies. They have a nesting area. A nesting area? What would you call that? Anyway.
Breeding
area. So you have an area where there's all these cocoons in various stages of cocoon. So some are just been cocooned, and some are getting ready to emerge. And sometimes you can watch them emerge, depending on your timing. But the butterflies will come up to you. They'll land on you because they're kind of used to you. And even that just brings the little kid out in me every time, just to be surrounded by these butterflies. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. So some of the new things that are in the gardens this year, they have a pet-friendly garden where you can learn about pet-friendly gardening. That's near the seas. The Rain or Shine fruit stand. There's a interesting thing that celebrates the water cycle and how water helps crops. That's near Communicore Plaza. The Wildlife Crossing. Learn how animals safely roam, inspired by the new Pixar film Hoppers. That's also near Communicore Hall.
Yes, that's the area you were talking about.
Yep.
You're curious what they were going to do. So there's going to be a couple new gardens in there.
Trendy Tropicals, which is an interesting world of plants that never goes out of style. That's between Morocco and the France pavilions. And then this, I think, this sounds very, very interesting. It's a festival exhibit at the Communicore Hall. You get a bee's eye view of a garden that's larger than life as it transitions from day to night. From fireflies that glow in the dark to flowers that open by moonlight, each element of the garden becomes more magical once the sun goes down. I want to see that.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be kind of interesting.
That's going to be very interesting. It's going to be, a cool way of looking at everything.
So then we get down to the outdoor kitchens and the festival food, and I find a lot of the offerings for flower and garden are a little on the lighter side.
Yeah,
not as heavy as some
food,
of the
wine,
offerings.
or the holidays.
Yeah, but again, looking through the offerings from last year, because they haven't put out the menus for this year yet. Did the same thing almost that I was doing when we were researching going down during the holidays, where I'm like, oh, I'm definitely trying that. Oh, I'm going there.
You're going there. Then that's definitely next.
Hey, this place has that and this. I can get them both at the same place. And, sort of planning my route that way. As thinking of how I'm going to eat and drink my way through the gardens.
Right. No, and it's, like the Mexican street corn that I make out of the EPCOT recipe book I have. That first time I had that was actually at Flower and Garden with Katie, and it's just wonderful. And they're all lighter, a little more creative in the drinks. Sometimes they're a little funky colors, just brighter. It's just a brighter menu in many ways, just to kind of represent spring, I think. But
yeah, and then they're doing a new thing called the Garden Graze. So that sounds very interesting. You pick up a passport.
Always pick up your passport.
Always pick up your passport. So you pick up a passport and lots of different offerings throughout the park.
And the Garden Graze is like the cookie stroll.
Yeah, you get right, exactly. You get to pick and choose what you want to sample. You get your passport stamped wherever it is that you purchase that item, and then you bring it back to. I think there's going to be like 3 redemption kiosks.
Well, the Garden Graze will be the one, like what was for the holiday. You're going to get a prize or a food item or something, and the Garden Graze will be garden food in the sense that it will be a meat-free item.
Okay.
So it's going to be
it's going to be a treat.
It's going to be a treat of some sort, but it's going to be 7 or 8 items on a list, and you have to eat 5 of them.
And then there's also a lot of special photo opportunities. I noticed as I was going through the stuff for this year. A lot of
magic shots.
Yeah.
Which are always fun.
Absolutely.
Like that silly one we have of the 4 of us. All of us, we're all standing there looking like we're trying to think, like that think pose. And Figment's over our head when we get the picture back. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. But with any festival, always make sure you get your passport, because your passport's going to tell you, one, this passport will tell you where the topiaries are. It will also tell you what is at each booth for food-wise.
Yep.
And that really has expanded so much we went in 2001. We were there. Then we were there again with the kids.
2009.
Then the next couple times was food and wine and the holidays.
I'm not going to embarrass myself by trying to remember how many times we've been down there or what year it was.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. But then we were there for my birthday, and then me and Kate went down 2 years ago. This is actually, I think, the festival we've been to least, but I'm not sure.
So, we always encourage you just to grab the passport, grab the park map too. But definitely, if you're going to go down there, if you're going to sample Flower and Garden, go online and one evening and just do a little research on all the different areas, the special food and drink offerings that they have, the special shows that they have. I always find that, we start thinking about what it is that we want to do when we come up with an A and a B.
Right.
And it just makes the day more enjoyable, I think.
Oh, completely. And sometimes you find things like, if you weren't paying attention, like we didn't, we found those funny jugglers during the holidays.
Yeah.
And
just stumbled across them.
We stumbled across them because I hadn't really looked at the map that gives show times or the passport to know that they were even going to be there.
Right. Or all the different entertainment offerings that they had at EPCOT when we were there.
Yeah. And they always have something fun like that.
But a ton of these magic shots.
Oh yeah.
Everything from the butterfly magic shot, which is you striking a graceful pose as beautiful butterflies magically appear in your photo. The orange bird magic shot.
Mm-hmm.
The Groot topiary.
The Groot
magic
topiary.
shot.
Yeah, he's
that
fun.
Topiary looks fun.
He is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Tiny World magic shops, you've seen them. If you've seen a picture of anybody who's gone to EPCOT at some point, that's the one where they look down at you and you're in a circle, and it's a funky shot, but yeah, that's from here. So yeah,
and then like we were saying, the festival concert offerings this year, I think, are very interesting.
So they have a concert every night. From March 1st through June 1st, there's 3 shows a night, 5:30, 6:45, and 8 p.m. And just like the Food and Wine and the Candlelight Processional, there is a dining package you can buy to guarantee a seat. You need to actually still show up at least 45 minutes early if you want to be in the front rows of these seats.
Right. And now that we've done this once, and we had no joy, but that was weather related.
That was weather related.
Absolutely nothing to do with anything else. Never been so wet in my life. So the pavilion where these concerts take place is like about 1/3 covered, 2/3 open.
Right.
And if you're really interested in a covered seat, and you got to get there early. You absolutely have to get there early.
If you want a covered seat, you have to get a dining plan, and you have to get there at least 45 minutes before.
Right.
But,
and so here's the thing. If you get the dining plan, this is what I enjoyed about it.
Right.
Even though we had no joy. We'll explain the no joy in a moment. What I liked about it was we had a very, very enjoyable meal. And then we had preferred seating.
Right.
Or guaranteed seating, if you will, for the event. Because it's standing room only every single night. They'll regularly get, 1,500 to 2,000 people there, and they have seating for maybe 700.
Right.
So you do the math. And so if you're interested in having, because there's a lot of restaurants that are participating in this.
Most of them, yeah.
So if you're interested in having a nice dining experience at one of these restaurants and then seeing the show that night, definitely do the dining package.
Yeah.
It is worth every penny. That being said, so if your concert should happen to take place on a night where there's inclement weather, even though the stage is covered and 1/3 of the seating is covered, what we found when we were down there for the Candlelight Processional, it was just raining too hard for them to carry on with the production. So they canceled it. And you get the money back.
The money back for the show.
For the show. That's not for your meal.
You ate the food.
You ate the food and you enjoyed the food, hopefully.
Right.
So you're definitely paying for the food.
Right.
So there's just that little caveat. It is weather dependent. It's an outdoor event. And it's Florida.
Right. Right, exactly. And it's Florida.
It's Florida.
Luckily it's not the rainy season, but it's, close. The joy, though, of this, unlike the Candlelight Processional, where you really want to be in the theater to see the narrator and, their facial expressions and everything else, if it's someone you don't mind just listening to, you would like to hear them, because it is a band, you can sit in the American Pavilion across the walkway.
Yeah.
And hear them and enjoy the music.
And that's where a lot of the dancers, that's where a lot of the folks who are going to be dancing. That's where they
moving
that's
and
where
stuff
they
like
go.
that. That's
right.
where they're going to be.
Yep.
So if you don't need to see Rick Springfield,
Try that again.
I did. Then I would go across the street. Now, of course, for me, if I was there, I would have to. But like the first couple nights is the music of ABBA. I'll be in the American Pavilion because I want to be able to move.
Oh yeah.
That music is just like Dancing Queen. I'm going to sit still during Dancing Queen? I don't think so.
No. I don't know anybody who can sit still during Dancing Queen.
So But the most important thing was I actually knew who everybody was except for like 2 people. I've never heard of Information Society
Okay.
and Firehouse, but I think I know everybody else. Sometimes I feel very old.
I was surprised to see Queensryche on there. I was like, holy cow.
So just to give you an idea of some
Wow.
of the bands, it's the music of ABBA. It's a review band. Simple Plan, Blue October, who always plays there, Billy Ocean, and the Commodores,
The Commodores.
Air Supply, Katrina from Katrina and the Waves. Yeah, Queensryche. AJ Croce plays Croce. Yeah, so that
I think AJ is the son, but I'm not sure.
he is. He's his son. He's his son, yeah. So it's gonna be fun. It's definitely gonna be fun. But like I said, if you want to see a face, you need to get a dining plan.
Yeah, that's true.
So
who's this festival perfect for?
me,
If you're the type of traveler that likes to wander as opposed to rushing, this is a good festival for you. If you enjoy food and ambiance over thrill rides, it's a great festival for you.
if you're a multi-generational trip and you don't have time for a rest day, but you want a mellow day.
Yep,
and grandma and grandpa really want a mellow day.
This is
the festival for you.
Now, first timers love this festival because it just feels so
It's a little more laid back.
yeah, unintimidating.
Right.
It's not really an agenda.
Well, and like the
The
lines,
agenda is what you want to do.
right? Like the cookie stroll lines get crazy pants, as we talked about when we talked about the holidays.
Right.
The lines for here, I mean, they're long, especially on the weekends because the locals come out, but they're not
right.
crazy pants long.
They're not. I don't think anything like what we saw when we were down there at Christmas time.
No.
Yeah.
No. It's also not as popular of a time period. Well, till you get to spring break.
And I mean, repeat visitors like us love the festival because there's always something new, and it's a familiar park setting, but it's fresh experiences, things you haven't seen before. The park in a way that is new and different.
Right. And even though like they had the butterfly garden every year, it's still different. They put different plants in there. It's set up different.
It's not like they're pulling the same exhibit out of storage,
putting it together and calling
using
it
a
a
little
day.
index and paper towel, and
exactly.
setting it back up again.
And yes, some things are the same, but so much is not. You know, it's also for little kids, you're going to learn a lot. And it's interesting learning because that's what EPCOT does. It teaches kids things in an interesting, engaging, interactive way.
Yeah.
So you're going to learn about the water cycle. You're going to learn about the importance of bees and honey. And you're going to learn about the importance of butterflies and why we need to keep these creatures alive and treat them wonderfully. You're going to learn about bird migration and growing vegetables. It's just...
Yeah, but more importantly, you're probably going to walk out of there with one or two things that you can do at where you live to help the cause, if you will.
Even if it's just knowledge. Yeah, it's definitely, it's worth it. I would avoid spring break time periods like the plague if you do not have children. Of course, if you have children, unfortunately, that's commonly when you have to go down.
So here are some of the common mistakes that people make when they're going down there for flower and garden. They treat flower and garden like a checklist.
Yep.
You shouldn't do that. You really want to take it all in. You really want to set a nice leisurely pace, and you really want to enjoy the booze out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think of it as just flowers, because like we've been talking, there's the food, there's the drink, there's the entertainment, plus the atmosphere. And some people go down there and they don't plan at all. And like we are constantly hammering this point only because we're planners. I like knowing what's around and what's available before we head off anywhere. Definitely get on the website. Definitely take a look at what's going on during the festival. Pick the things that you really that really pique your curiosity or things that you really want to do and see.
Right.
It helps you have a more enjoyable time.
And, go through the list of topiaries. You don't want to have to, you'll walk 20 miles anyway. You'll walk 30 if you try to see every single solitary topiary. So what are the ones, what characters are your favorites? Whatever do you really want to see? Same thing with the food.
Yeah.
And the drink. I really want this drink. I really want to try this food. Everybody puts in their 4 tops. And those are the 16 things or 8 things or whatever you do. And if you get to see everything, great. But don't overplan, but plan something.
Yeah, we feel, especially with Flower and Garden, that a looser day results in a better day, a better park day.
Mm-hmm.
And I find, too, with Flower and Garden, just over-planning the day just totally ruins the vibe because you're there for a stroll. Anytime we go to the Bronx Botanical Gardens, because that's the gardens closest to us. We have one up here, local in Orange County, New York. That's gorgeous.
That's gorgeous.
But
it's not the Bronx Botanical Gardens.
Yeah. Every time we go down there, we always get down there early. We always leave late because we're just taking our time and soaking it all in.
It's also beautiful in the evening very often. One of our favorite things, which the first year we went, which I did not know, was the first year it was ever there. And I used to put it out and bring it back in and put it out and bring it back in. And it was just out for Flower and Garden. Now it's out 365. It's trains outside of Germany.
Oh, yeah.
That originally was just their Flower and Garden. And I have this picture of our son. He just stood there fascinated, watching these trains for like 15 minutes with this big eyes and his little blonde head.
Yeah, and I remember the first time we were down there when that outdoor train exhibit was set up, going, this looks kind of cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could do this outside the house.
By the way, we do have a small G-scale train set outside the house.
Yes, we do have trains running around the outside of the house.
So that is Flower and Garden.
That's Flower and Garden, one of our favorite festivals. And if you're looking for an excuse to go down there, we hope you enjoy yourself. You have a good time because it's a great festival. And we have to stress too, it's just at EPCOT.
Yes.
You're still going to see lots of fun plantings over at Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom and, Disney Studios. But
right. And
this festival is really centered and really takes place in and throughout EPCOT.
And Spike's Pollen-Nation Nation scavenger hunt changes, though they haven't announced it yet, like the week before and after Easter to looking for Easter eggs instead. And then goes back to being Spike.
I haven't gone on an Easter egg hunt in a long time. That would be fun. Do we get to keep the eggs?
Yes, dear.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you for listening to the Adventures of Two Gray Mice. Please leave a rating and review wherever you listen.
You can follow us on Instagram at 2 Gray Mice Podcast.
You can send any questions about anything or planning your next vacation to 2 graymice@gmail.com.
Until next time, I am Rob.
And I'm Meg. And we are 2 Gray Mice. Have a great week, folks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to The Adventures of Two Gray Mice. We would love it if you could please leave us a rating or review wherever you listen to this podcast. For all your vacation needs at Disney, Universal, or cruise lines, please reach out to Meg at meganthemouse.com. Have a great week.